Hello at-home learners. I've got an artist to introduce you to this week that I think you're going to enjoy, and I hope that she will inspire you to make some artwork of your own. So let's meet Denise Fiedler. Denise is a San Francisco-based artist, and here's an example of her artwork. What do you notice first about her work? The students at school, I talked with third grade about this particular artist. The students at school noticed that her artwork uses papers that has writing on it. She actually buys vintage magazines. That means vintage means old magazines. You can tell the paper has kind of yellowed on some of them, and then this one with the whiskers is a little bit lighter. And so she uses different old papers to create her artwork. And the words look kind of like texture. The third graders thought that the words made it look like the animal's fur, which is kind of cool. So this is an artist who doesn't draw her artwork. She uses a media called collage, or a process called collage. And collage basically is cut paper and paste. Paste is what's found in your glue stick, all right? And so we're going to use a combination of things after we take a look at a few of her artworks to make an artwork of our own using collage. So here's a couple of others. She does not do just cats, but I focused on cats for younger students. And then if you do the cat and love it, maybe you'll try some other kind of animal. So you can see here's a paper that was used that has Chinese characters on it for the Siamese cat. And look how pretty different colors of paper were used. And here you can actually draw on your piece. I think she used a paper that had a texture on it for that particular cat. I thought these were kind of whimsical and fun. Look at the flowers that she's cut out of a magazine in order to add some flowers to her cats. Now, I want to talk to you for just a minute about shape, because shape is really important when you start cutting things out. So let's look at the cats on this side of the screen first. Have you thought about what kind of simple shape would make the head? You can trace around it on the computer screen with your finger. What shape is that? A circle, isn't it? Really, all of these cats have circles for their heads. This one is a little different. If you trace around his head, it's like a really fat oval, but sideways. He's just a little bit different shape. So a circle or a really fat oval makes a nice head for a cat. Let's look at the body. What shape is this? Again, simple shape. You don't have to get every little detail. Simple shape. It's like an upside down U, isn't it? Do you feel it? You can do this on your computer screen, okay? It's like an upside down U. This one, the U goes sideways. Your cat doesn't have to come up from the bottom of the page. It could come over from the side, but it's still a U. And then we could cut the excess off. What if I made the whole cat? There's my U. And the bottom of it is like a U also, except it's fatter. Do you see he's fatter at the bottom than he is at the top? So we're going to use simple shapes, cutting them out of paper to make our cat. And then before we move on to materials, let's talk about faces, because faces are always so much fun to make, and they add character to your piece. Let's see. A cat's nose. What is the simple shape? You can see some details, but the simple shape is a triangle that's upside down, right? And let's see, I don't see it very well on that one, probably on this cat. Oh, I see it really well here. Do you see under the triangle, there's a little line that comes down from the bottom of the triangle and then it goes out on both sides. He looks very serious. So if you want him to smile, you're going to have to bring your line down and then turn it up on the sides to make him a smiling cat instead of a serious cat. Now, a cat's eyes, they're very different than your eyes. We would probably draw like a football shape for our eyes, but look at the cat's eye. It's much more round, and then it's got a little point on both ends. I've got a poster that I'll show you in a minute about that. But now let's talk about materials. So here's the things that I've assembled to make my artwork. I've got an old piece of newspaper. It's starting to turn a little yellow. I could use an old magazine. Be sure you talk to a parent before you cut up a magazine or a book or music or anything like that. You could even use an old photocopy. I know back in my office room, there's a waste paper basket full of old photocopies, and I could use something like that too. I have a black piece of paper to use as my background. It doesn't have to be black. It could be a brownish color. It could be like an old piece of shipping paper that maybe came in a box, or some other type of paper that you might have around the house. And then I also grabbed a pad of sticky notes. I wanted a yellow piece of paper, and I thought, what do I have at home that's yellow? Well, sticky notes. That works well. I've got a glue stick, which you should have in your school supplies. I grabbed some color pencils because I'm going to do some drawing, I think, on my cat. Do you have to have colored pencils? No, crayons would work really well also. And let's see, scissors. You do not have to have big scissors. This just happens to be what I have at home, but smaller school scissors probably fit your hand better. And a pencil to help draw. So if you're a younger student, or if you'd just like to see how to put together a collage, you can watch the next video. But if you think, I think I've got that down and that really looks interesting, I'm going to make my own collage. I have some ideas. I would encourage you to look at the slide presentation I posted. It shows a little bit more of Fiedler's work, and there is more variety. There's not just cats, and might inspire you further. I hope that you have a good time with this and that you will let me see what you're doing. Maybe post them to Google Classroom and let me have a look at them. I'd like to figure out how to get them on Artsonia for you as well. So you can touch base with me and let me see what you're doing. I had a lot of fun putting my Fiedler inspired cat together, and I hope you will too. Happy cutting.